Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new episode. Now, last episode I said we'd come from Istanbul, but I'm here in Montenegro in this beautiful vineyard campsite. I've been blown away by the scenery I've encountered over the last 5-6 days, so I thought we'd break this section into two separate episodes. So yeah, we've got some unbelievable scenery from southern Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, and a bit of an eventful night with Princess at the Plitvice Lakes, but we'll get into all that now. Enjoy.
Okay, so here we are just leaving the Dolomites and saying goodbye to Andy and Valeria, and yeah, heading out into the Dolomites. Now, before I left that morning, Andy said, "Right, if you're going to Chester, I recommend you do two mountain passes." It's like, "Oh, okay, that sounds good." And so he basically said, "Follow signs to Ms." And then the scenery that followed was crazy. And what was incredible about the mountain passes was there was really no one on them compared to the day before, where I did the Stelio Pass, which was absolutely crowded with thousands of bikes. There was no one on these roads, and then you had these crazy tunnels that were just carved into the mountain that were all single way, and yeah, what a riding experience! It was just so amazing. So as I was riding out of the valley following the river, I came across this spot called Candini del Brenton, and it was just really nice to get off the bike and go for a bit of a walk in nature and see kind of the waterfalls. It was lovely. So Andy had one more surprise in store for me. He said I should go to the Passage San Boldo, which was on the way to Trieste, and it was a old World War One track that was built, and it was ridiculous. It was basically carved into like a cliff face, and as you could see, the corners were actually in the mountain. Yeah, I think it was the most impressive piece of road that I rode on. It was very strange. You're basically in a cave, doing a 180-degree turn. But yeah, just thanks to Andy so much for giving me those recommendations. Although I never would have found them without him. And yeah, it was just amazing riding.
Okay, so I'm here in Trieste, and I've spent a few days kind of thinking about the next step of the journey to Istanbul, and I'm going to take a little bit of a slightly more scenic route and going to go to Macedonia and Albania, which looks incredible. So yeah, just planning the route at the moment, but really excited to see those countries. Just come and visited the town of Koper in Slovenia on the coast, and just stumbled across this little square. Bit of landscape architect porn for my mates. Oh, look at all the plants. Oh, so pretty. And but actually, a really nice space. This is great. Oh.
So I decided to shoot down the highway to check out the capital of Slovenia, Ljubljana, on my way to Zagreb. I'd been told it was well worth the visit. It was a beautiful city, and yeah, boy, was that right! It was yeah, really, really nice city, and well worth the visit. Um, and I just kind of yeah walked around for a few hours, and then popped up to the castle to get a bit of a view over the city. Yeah, but would highly recommend a visit to Ljubljana, and definitely a city that I'd like to go back to and check out a bit more. Yeah, and there was a lovely sound of music, classical music being played in the streets. And a lot of the streets I walked through, there was music being played. Yeah, which just really added to the atmosphere. Really nice. So after leaving the city, I decided to take a bit of a break from the motorway and see if I could get a bit of a feeling for the scenery of Slovenia. So I kind of yeah set the Google Maps to no toll roads, uh, and it can be kind of hit or miss when you get off the highways on what the terrain's going to be like. But oh my goodness, did I luck out on this? I basically followed the Sava River all the way from Ljubljana to Zagreb, and I just had a huge mix of scenery, taking me through some little old towns. It was like kind of taking step back in time, like really agricultural with these like beautiful old buildings. Yeah, what an experience. Slovenia was such a beautiful country. And yeah, like I'm definitely going to go back and explore more of the mountain area. But yeah, what a treat to follow the river. Really enjoyed it.
Alrighty, just spent the night in beautiful Zagreb, right by the river here. Stayed in this amazing apartment with my mate Dim there. Yeah, boy. Check it out, what an apartment. Beautiful stuff. My new best mate.
Hello.
Oh wow, what an amazing night here. Just spent it with Dim there. Now just packing the bike up, and then yeah, we're gonna head to Provincial Lakes in Croatia. I mean, it's been the most stunning place ever, so have to go and see that, and then we're gonna shoot down the coast. So
yeah, so I should probably do a bit of a background as to how I met Dime. So he was a friend of a friend. My mate Simone met him a few years ago, and he's a double bass player and now plays in the Zagreb Philharmonic Orchestra. And so yeah, Simone was like, "Oh, if you go through Zagreb, you have to stay with him." And Dime was just so lovely to have me into his house, and we had a fantastic night just hanging out and chatting, listening to classical music. But yeah, here we are in Provincial Lakes. And yeah, there's a reason. It's like one of the biggest attractions in Croatia. It's a beautiful spot.
No, what am I doing?
All right, we're laughing, but not a great situation. The batteries died here. I'm at the Provincial Lakes. Not great news, but some amazing people here have been trying to help me get it working. And yeah, we've been trying lots of different things, but hopefully we can get it working soon.
Hang on.
Anche la luce qui.
Oh! Now you can't switch it off.
Woohoo! Yes!
Back working. Princess, it's Princess. She's living up to her name. Oh, she's back on. We got jump started it. Yeah, what an ordeal. But it's back. We're here with Martina at BMW in Zadar, and apparently it was my fault with the battery. I left the contact on, but apparently it's okay. I can ride.
You will come to Mongolia.
Yeah, I will make it to Mongolia. Okay, there you have it. So I arrived very late last night, about 10 o'clock. I left the bike here at the BMW just in case it was like more of a technical issue that I needed to get fixed, but apparently it's all good to ride. It was totally my fault. I was speaking to Annabelle and I left the ignition on for maybe 15-20 minutes. I just didn't think that would drain the battery, but apparently these have very small batteries, the G650, so it's just, yeah, drained it real quick. So I have to be so careful not to do that.
So I just want to say a huge thank you to Beatrice, Philippe, Matteo, and his partner who stayed with me right from the start. In total, probably about 2 hours to get Princess up and running again. We initially just tried to push the bike, kind of jump started in third, but unfortunately that didn't do the trick. But yeah, just incredible to have them stay with me for that period of time. Yeah, the motorbike community definitely looks out for one another. But yeah, so I hopped back on the bike and was met with pouring rain the next morning, so that wasn't great news. But yeah, eventually we made it to Ston.
As you can see, it's still raining. So not very fun to ride in for the last few hours. So I've just treated myself with a whole kilogram of mussels and a lovely local red. So we're on the seaside, so why not? So Dimme, the bloke I stayed with in Zagreb, recommended I come to Stom to check this old medieval wall out and the town itself with the old castle. And boy was he right, it's an amazing place. I think he said at one stage it was the longest fortified wall in Europe. That could be completely wrong, but yeah, so this is just a section that's remaining, but it's incredible. It's just...
So I can confirm, after speaking to a local tour guide, that it is the largest intact medieval wall in Europe. And they're currently restoring another section that goes straight to the top of the mountain. So the views from up there will be insane. But yeah, well worth a visit, and not one of the most known sites in Croatia. But yeah, it wasn't that touristy. So yeah, it was great. So with the rain seeming to clear in the afternoon and then rain forecast for the next few days, I decided to push on to Montenegro. And yeah, great decision in the end because the roads were completely empty, as I guess all the other kind of tourists had decided to call in for the night. But yeah, just passed through the mountains of Bosnia and then into Montenegro, so a few border crossings. And yeah, it was really, really good riding. And yeah, I was really surprised with the number of mountains, and yeah, it was certainly a sign of what was to come.
Okay, there we have it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Full of highs and lows. I'm sure throughout that episode my Uncle Murray was swearing because when I first got the motorbike back in 2016, as the only member of my family with any motorbike experience, he told me, always turn the ignition off. Never leave it on. If the light's on, it's going to drain the battery super quickly. Well, Mud, 7 years on, I've learned my lesson. Okay, so at the end of the last episode, I asked for any comments, any feedback, and yeah, I had lots of comments come through, which was really lovely. And one of the standout ones was to maybe give a bit of like reflections or a balanced view of the trip, because I think my commentary can be like very upbeat, very positive. Oh, this is all the amazing stuff. But yeah, there's certainly another side to it. So yeah, I'll do it now. So basically, the first week was actually really tough. It's when I landed in France, I was quite daunted by the task ahead that I set for myself, and I kind of remember thinking like, geez, have I made the right decision here? Because I think I was just overwhelmed by the number of decisions that needed to be made. Like each day waking up going, okay, like where am I going? What route am I taking? What am I seeing? What am I not seeing? Where am I staying? How much ground should I be trying to cover? And I think like the solo nature of the trip like really hit home. Like all of the decision making and pressure was on me. And yeah, and by day 3 my ass was killing me, and I was just thinking, how on earth am I gonna make it like halfway around the world? Like, what have I done? But yeah, but by week 2 I just started to get used to it, get into a rhythm, and breaking the riding into like 2-hour chunks, and all the scenery you've seen in this episode, I think, was just validation that I'd absolutely made the right decision. But yeah, it's just a massive adjustment, like from the 9 to 5 or 9 to 7, 8, 9, as the case may be, and like the routine that you get used to after years. Yeah, and I met another motorbike rider that said the exact same thing. Like when he quit his job and it took a while to get used to. And then yeah, another thing that's been really difficult is yeah, missing my wife. It's really tough. I wish she was on the back. I wish she was in a sidecar. Just to share the experiences with her. But yeah, I'm trying to call her every day to at least keep in contact. But yeah, that's been difficult. Another comment was to maybe do an episode or explain all the gear that I've got and what it takes to do a trip like this. Hopefully, maybe I've inspired some other people that were dreaming of doing this to get out there and do it. So I'm going to do a separate episode in Istanbul and explain all the gear, all the lessons learned, what you need, what you don't need, etc. And then the final comment was from my mate, Mr. Onions. Was a bit critical of my editing skills. Maybe I could lift my game, do a few more like funky transitions. Yeah, we'll see. Mate. Maybe some comments are left untouched, but we'll see. Okay, thanks everyone. And next episode we will be in Istanbul. So yeah.